Hello everyone, welcome to Grail Watches. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Rolex GMT Master II, reference number 116710. We're going to be going over a few of the features and overall wearability of the watch, as well as my personal thoughts. First, let's kick it off with a brief history lesson. This is definitely a watch that deserves that. So many of you may know that this watch was initially commissioned by Pan American Airlines when they approached Rolex and said, our pilots are getting jet lagged due to our new transatlantic flights. We need something to fix this. So Pan Am said, we need to keep our pilots on their home time when they go on transatlantic flights. Thus, the GMT was born. It's a little bit more complicated than that, but for the sake of reduction for the video, that's what happened. Moving forward, a story that you may not know was that this watch was actually instrumental in the success and the lives of the crew on Apollo 13. So many of you may know, if you're familiar with watches, that the Omega Speedmaster is known as the Moon Watch. However, on the vessel, when they weren't outside with their suits on, when the Speedmaster was necessary due to the bracelet that stretched, the GMT Master was the prevailing watch. This is what the astronauts wore. Most of them, if not all of them, wore them. Specifically, Jack Swigert, one of the very brave men on Apollo 13, when they touched down back on Earth, about a month later, Jack Swigert put his GMT Master up on a plaque, and he thanked René-Paul Jeanneret, the head bigwig at Rolex at the time, for getting him home safely. I think that speaks volumes about this watch, the history of the watch. Incredible history. Many people know it as the Pan Am watch. That moon story and Apollo 13 story is incredible. The Apollo 13 disaster was a terrible disaster, but definitely well navigated. So, GMT Master, great history. Features, GMT Master. So, multiple time zones. The first time zone, obviously, as you have any watch, analog watch anyway, you're going to have the time off of the two hands, hour, minute, on the normal 12. Then you have the 24-hour time going off of the bezel. So this green hand is working off of the bezel. So this is 18, so it would be 6 p.m. That's working off this bezel. I'm not going to go into it, but if you did have a scenario where you needed 3 time zones, that's very possible. You would use this bezel and rotate it, for example, off of whatever time zone you're currently on. For example, I'm on Eastern Standard, rotate it 3 to the left to get to Pacific time. Overall, it does have the triple lock crown, which is nice. I love the bracelet, what they do with many of these modern Rolexes with the polished center links. I think that gives it a little bit, a little bit more presence, a little bit more flash that many Rolex buyers look for. That's just something that they look for, which is, it is what it is. Clasp. This doesn't have the glide lock clasp. It does have a small extension, which is nice if you are to need such a thing when you get sweaty, if you're having a fat day, whatever. It has a little extension. Always nice. You never know when you're going to need it. Bezel, as you've been seeing, this is a Cerachrome bezel. Definitely needs to be seen in person. If you're looking and interested in one of these watches, take a look in person. It's definitely different than you'd think. The first time I saw one of these on a Submariner, it's definitely something I like, but it may not be for everyone. It definitely refracts a lot of light. It's a much different look than what they had previously. So take a look if you're interested. Something you should consider. Wearability of the watch. In the times I've worn this, I loved it. I think the weight is great. You can see it on my wrist right now. The weight's solid. Really good feeling. Good presence. I like the green hand. Just a little feature of mine. If you're interested in one of these, this one is actually for sale. They also sell this watch in so many variations. I know there's now a white gold version with a Pepsi ceramic bezel. You also have all black. There's now the Batman with the black and blue. So many variations, different metals. This is stainless, obviously. If you're interested, take a look. If you're looking and can't find something, shoot me a line. I always have watches in and out. You can always follow me on Instagram at Grail Watches. I post a lot of cool pictures, or what I think are cool pictures. Follow me there. You can always shoot me a line. And as always, have a good one, gentlemen.